What's up, guys? Crew Perfect here, and this is Everything West Ham, where everything we talk about is West Ham. Yeah, this is the content. Now, obviously, first things first, I haven't been updating a lot for nearly 2 weeks now. Um, I have been ill, so I've just been pretty busy, to be fair. But as I was saying, this is the content that I was looking forward to doing the most. It's basically out of all the teams that was in the Premier League, two players that I would pick from the team. Realistic signings. I mean, I could obviously choose Man United and say straight away Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, but it's picking two players, two realistic signings that we could target, possibly go for, and I feel would benefit us. So yeah, we'll start with Arsenal. Like I said, it's two-player pick. These two players are just returning back to Arsenal. They were both originally on loan. Um, One of them is Reece Nelson. He was on loan at Feyenoord. Um, he did get into the Europa Conference League final last season. Unfortunately, they lost. Um, but Reece Nelson, I feel he's not really been given that chance in the Premier League, but he is someone I feel David Moyes could nurture a bit like Jared Bowen. I honestly feel he could do well with us on the wings. We do need that depth on the wings. I mean, the whole team, our whole squad needs depth now, especially all the players just leaving. But Reece Nelson is a player. I don't think we would sign him permanently, but I think he would be a good loan signing on and off the bench. He could start. I mean, he would be a bench. He would probably start bench, but I just feel there's something about him that we could benefit from. And another one who was in the Europa Conference League final, which they did win, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I feel he could put. I don't think he should have went out on loan in the first place. I think he's got a big future at Arsenal, but obviously I don't think Arteta is that keen on using him. But yeah, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He's a player, a very versatile player. He can play right back, he can play left back, he can play centre mid. He's one of them players that he would definitely benefit coming to us, and we would definitely benefit signing him. I think that's a good. We could get him 20 million. I don't think I feel he should have a big future at Arsenal, but I honestly feel that Arteta could could get rid of him. 20 million, I'd take him. Like I said, that's the two players from Arsenal. Both of them are technically fringe players at Arsenal. I can't see them being used again next season. So that's two players I would bring in, maybe on loan. Again, with Reece Nelson, I don't think we would sign him. I think he, I don't. Maybe he has got a future, but yeah. Well, we're moving to Aston Villa. So why I was obviously doing this video, the transfer, I did originally pick Matt Target for backup left back, or even fight for the left back position. He has just gone to Newcastle for 15 mil. So yeah, I feel he could have done well at us. But so instead of using Matt Target now, it's an obvious one. We have been linked with him for a while now, and that is Ollie Watkins. Yeah, I think it's an obvious signing. Why? I just don't think 50 million is. I think 50 million is just a bit too much for a striker he has had a couple of seasons in the Premier League, but 50 million. I mean, I'm saying 30 million at max. But then I am picking another striker for Aston Villa. Some of you might know him. It is Cameron Archer. There's something about Cameron Archer. I feel he could be a big future. He is in the under 21 squad. He was on loan at Preston last season. He done well there. He was used with Villa in the Carabao Cups and stuff like that. But Cameron Archer, he's strong, he's pacey, and he has got a really good eye for goal. I think we could potentially get him for 10 million or less. And why not take a punt on him? If it, like I said, even if he isn't in the match day squads, he could relish opportunities in the under 23s. But he is someone, like I said, there's two strikers, Ollie Watkins and Cameron Archer. I just feel Cameron Archer he's got a few years, like, behind Ollie Watkins, but I feel like he could benefit coming off the bench for us, or even starting in cup games, FA Cup games. And like I said, he's got an eye for goal, and I would sign him straight up. Um, move on to Brentford. See, this one was a difficult one because everyone's always going on about Ivan Toney signing. Like I said, this video is about my opinions and stuff like that. But I just don't feel Ivan Toney would do well at us. He does have a poor attitude. We've seen that a lot. But yeah, two signings I'd play for go for with Brentford is Rico Henry, another left back who I potentially feel could actually start over Cresswell. Rico Henry. There's something about him. He does remind me a bit like Tariq Lamptey, but with Rico Henry, he is still young. But again, he's one of them players who can cover round the back, like you would do, like a sweeper would do, but in a fullback position. He would do, because our centre backs ain't that pacey, it would do wonders with him to always cover round. He's good attacking wise. Problem with him is I know Brentford do not want to sell him, and if they were to sell him, it would be at least 25 million plus. But we never know. You never know what could happen with Brentford season coming up. And another one where a lot of teams are obviously after. I do feel it's realistic. Christian Eriksen. I know, former Tottenham player. I'm not sure where his loyalty lies with that situation. Man United and all that are after him. Tottenham want him back. But Christian Eriksen, I feel, would fit straight in. I know Lanzini's done well in that position. He has adapted. But Christian Eriksen is that number 10. And I feel we would benefit. Jared Bowen would benefit, Antonio would benefit, Fornals would benefit, Souček and Rice would benefit. With him just stick there, he's a talisman. We all know that. We know how good he is, and it's a potential. It's a free transfer, but we'll see what goes on there. We know he wants to stay in the Premier League, but I feel him free transfer straight smack bang straight at number 10 by when that we're sorted. I think that obviously leaves Souček doing the duties of defending. The same with Rice. I just feel like he would be the perfect number 10 role. We're going with Burnley now. Again, James Halvowski. We have been after him for the last 2 seasons now. He could. I'm not sure. I think we might miss out on him now, but you never know. You know what football's like. He could potentially be signing for Everton. Well, I think that was all down to Lampard, but I would take Tarkowski. I'm not sure if it'd be one of them. I don't think he would start this season. We've got Zuma coming back. We've got Ogbonna coming back. But James Tarkowski, another free transfer, why not? And then the other one is a winger. I mean, it's probably the obvious one because he's probably their best player, but they have been relegated. I'm not sure if they got a relegation clause in his contract, but Maxwell Cornet. I was surprised when they signed him, first of all, because previously he was linked to Arsenal. So Burnley did get him. They have been relegated, but you've seen how good he is. You've seen how good he is for Burnley. I can't see him staying in the Championship for very long. I think we should move in quick for this move. Maxwell Cornet he's very skillful. He is quick, and he has got a couple of important goals for Burnley. Whether another big team go in for him, a bigger team than us, I can't really see it. But I think we should go in for Maxwell Cornet. Next up is Chelsea. Right, hear me out with this one. I know a lot of football fans probably won't know, but if you watch a lot of Championship, you might know him. Is Levi Colwill. He was on loan at Huddersfield. You probably would have seen him playing the final of the playoff final. But Levi Colwill, a left back and a centre half. He's only young, 18, but he was a key player for Huddersfield. Yeah, he was on loan from Chelsea, like I said. But there's something about him. I feel he's got a very big future, and I think we need to snap him up. I can't see him getting into the Chelsea team. It's just how their system is. You get, 1 out of 3 years that one of their youngsters come up and prove their worth. But Levi Cole, I think he would be perfect for us. Like I said, 18, he won't start, of course, not straight away, but he's got a good future ahead of him. Um, so yeah, keep an eye out on that. You keep an eye out on his name as well. He could be back in the Championship next season with Huddersfield, but I think he's Premiership material right now. And then we go for another player for Chelsea, Armando Broja. We know what he's about. He's big. He's strong. He can score goals. Um, he proved that at Southampton. He was highly rated at Chelsea. I'm not sure now what's going on. It all depends if Lukaku leaves, but we are in talks with him, so that says something, doesn't it? 30 million they want for him. I'll go for it. I'll go all out for a striker like him. I honestly think he's top notch. I like him. I really do like him, and I think he'd fit our system well, especially with other signings that bring in. Why not? Move on to Crystal Palace now. It's a bit weird with Crystal Palace. Like I said, I could say Eze, or at least I don't think we've got the money to. Well, okay, we do have the money, but I don't want to spend all of our wage budget on these players. But so the first one is Jack Butland. He's not as good as what he used to be, but he'd be good for a backup with Fabianski and Areola if we sign Areola. Again, it's the ball. They mess about these transfers, but Jack Butland it's just a simple one, a third backup choice, and then probably second when Fabianski goes. And another player, something Will Hughes. I've always liked Will Hughes. I liked him at Derby. Thought he was top notch there. He's good at Watford. Then he went on to Palace. I feel he could play. He could be one of them players who could. He won't start, obviously, but he'd be on the bench. But he's one of them players, a good backup. I think he'd fit in next to Rice well. I think he'd fit in next to Souček well. He's one of them. Yeah, he hasn't had the career that everyone thought he would have. But he's again another talisman. He's hardworking. He's a great passer. He can tackle. Like I said, realistic. It's because they're the only two players I could really see come to us, and I do feel they would benefit. Move on to Everton. Again, linked with, not sure it's going to happen now, but Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I was all for him coming to sign for us. Now I'm a bit 50-50 because of he didn't perform, did he? The second end of the season he did not perform, but neither did Everton. It's again with him 50 million. I'm not going to do it's the same with Ollie Watkins. That is a big gamble, 50 million for a player, especially when it doesn't work out. We'd end up selling them off, but not for the value we got them for. And a second player for Everton, Tom Davies. I know a lot of people probably thinking, what, Tom Davies? Again, the same with Will Hughes. He's one of them. He's not a bit part player. He's a squad rotation player, and I do like Tom Davies. I've liked him since he first come onto the scene with Everton. He didn't really get the chances at Everton that he should have, because you got to remember they got Decore, they got they Gilbert Sigurdsson, but we won't go on about that. They got Allen. They've always had good centre mids, always have done. So it was always quite hard for him to break into. But how small our squad is, he'd be good for squad depth easily. Like you said, I think he'd do a very good job at West Ham, and I would go for him. I don't think he'd cost mega money, because, like I said, well, even Dele Alli was there. I don't think he cost mega money. I know he hasn't been being used that much, but I'd go for him. Yeah, definitely. Move on to Leeds. See, I like Leeds squad. We have been linked with Rafinha. We have been linked with Calvin Phillips, but I'm talking realism here. Realistic signings. One signing I think would come, I think beneficial, I think he would be perfect, is Diego Llorente. There's something about him. He is passionate. He's a passionate footballer. He loves the ball at the feet. He is a ball playing footballer. I think Diego Llorente. I think we could. We should go in for him. I think that's a snatch. I think we're missing out if we don't go for someone like him. The second pick though for Leeds is Ilan Mezzia, whatever, however you put. They're the goalkeeper, the young goalkeeper. I think he's top notch. If he wasn't going for Areola for our first team, first choice keeper, I'd be going for him. I think he's unreal. He's still young. Again, I'm signing him. I'm talking about signing him for backup. Because again, Fabianski's got 1 year left, but I think he could potentially be better than Areola. I think he could be our future number one. It might cost a little bit, but I think that why not go for him? Like I said, you don't really hope for a team to get relegated, but I wanted them to get relegated because I know all their prices are going to get cut, and I would have been signing him straight away. That Meslier, I think he is good. He's very commanding. Okay, he's punching out, might not be good from corners, but he can play football. He can pick a pass. You've seen that numerous times. That's one thing that we've always lacked as a goalkeeper. We've always had them goalkeepers who just smashes it and it goes out of play. But yeah, they're the two picks that I picked from Leeds. It might be disappointing for you lot, but Rafinha and Calvin Lewis, I can't see them happening. We'll move on to Leicester. We'll start with a player who is currently out on loan, a Belgium international on loan at Torino, is Dennis Praet. I'm shocked that he's not even in their team playing now. So maybe something to do with Brendan Rodgers. I don't know, but I think he's superb. He's playing for the Belgium national team, and they're not a poor team. They've got world class players, and for him to be starting and playing games, I'm shocked that he's not even playing for Leicester. But I'd take him straight away. Again, good number 10, another very good number 10 who can also play on the wings. But for me, he's a number 10, and I think he'd fit in well with us. If Leicester want to get rid of him, I can't see it being any more than 10 million or lower, and I'll take him. And it's the same with the second player I'm about to pick. Another one you're probably questioning, but he reminds me of Soucek, and this is Hamza Chowdhury. I think he's class. I think he's top notch. He can pass, he can tackle, he can get back and he can get forward. And again with Leicester, they do have very good centre midfielders. But I'd be taking Hamza Chowdhury. I think he'd suit the way we play. I reckon 15 million we could get for him, and I think he'd fit in straight well. Yeah, he's played for England under 21s all the way up. Hasn't played for England, but he could. Well, like I said, it has been said that he might be going to change his nation to Bangladesh, which is his original nationality. But I take Hamza Chowdhury. I think he's top notch, and I honestly feel he would fit in with us. We move on to Liverpool. Again, another one. I would have took Divock Origi, but these two players, one for depth and one I can honestly feel would fit straight in. I say let's just go back first with depth. It's Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is one of them. He's a good backup. He is a good backup. I don't see him as a winger anymore like he originally started off with. But yeah, I can see him centre mid, number 10 role. He does kind of remind me of Lingard. But I'd take him for depth. And that is technically all it is. It's just depth. I'm not saying... I do like him as a footballer. But he's gone off the radar a little bit. And the other one, who I feel would fit straight in, Joe Gomez. There's something about Joe Gomez where at one point he was meant to be the next England centre half, the next big thing. He had that unfortunate injury, and then he had that training ground bust up with Sterling. But yeah, I think he'd fit in well with us. Him and Kurt Zouma. That for me, I think that sounds amazing. I do like Joe Gomez. He's big, he's strong. He reads the game well. He can pass. He's still got a bit about him when it comes to speed. But yeah, like I said, Oxlade-Chamberlain, we know he'll be leaving. Joe Gomez, I don't think he's going to get in over Matip, Konate, Van Dijk. I think it's their time to move on. We'll go Man City. And I think these ones are a bit obvious because you've seen it in the news that they have been allowed to leave, and that is Zinchenko and Nathan Ake. Obvious reasons why you want you do want to get high caliber players who have won Premier League, who are internationals, really good internationals. And I honestly feel we could. I would right. I've got a funny feeling that we could get them both. Like altogether, 60 million, maybe just under 70. And I'll do that for Zinchenko. He is one of them players. He's not left back. He can play there. But have you seen how he plays for Ukraine in that number 10 role? He's superb. And I feel that's what we do miss. And again, with Nathan Ake, another good centre back who can play across the back four. He might not like playing left back or right back, but he can do it and he puts a shift in. My centre half, again, him and Kurt Zuma, why not? I mean, it's short and sweet with Man City. They're the two players. Sign them straight away. Move on to Man United. I'm not going to talk too much on this one. It's Jesse Lingard. We know why. We know what he's done. I don't think he should be asking for that 180,000 a week. Bearing in mind he played, a couple of games last season. You can't be asking for that. Yeah, we get it. You was amazing with us. But, free transfer, 100,000 a week max. And then another one. I really liked watching him last season and the season before. Is James Garner, another good centre midfielder, someone who I could potentially see partnering Rice in the England setup. Yeah, James Garner. He has been on loan for the last 2 seasons at Forest and probably again this season now they've been promoted, depending on how Ten Hag sees how he is. But I honestly think he's very underrated. He has gone under the radar when it comes to Man United youngsters. But yeah, them two again. But James Garner is the one I want the most out of them. Lingard, yeah, I'll bring him in, but I'm a bit disappointed in him asking for that wage. We move on with Norwich. I'm still shocked with this player, yeah, that no one went in for him. I know he was linked with Barcelona. I don't know why that fizzled out, but Max Aarons. I can see him I can honestly see him getting any of the teams in the Premier League in the top 10 teams. I can see him at Man United. I can see him at Man City. I can see him at Liverpool. But I think he'd be perfect fit for us. Sufel has declined a bit since his injury. Ben Johnson, I love Ben Johnson. I think he's quality, but I think Max Aarons is better than Ben Johnson. And he is another player who is up and down. It's unfortunate that he's been relegated twice now with Norwich and he's still not been snapped up. So I think now's the perfect time to snap him up. And then the second player is Adam Idah. He's done well in the Championship. He's not really, people say he's not really Premiership material. But when you're playing for a team like Norwich and you can't get in over Timo Pukki, who he had that one good season in the Premier League and hasn't, I think he scored like below 6 this season. I think Adam Idah, young Irish striker, why not take a punt with him? His value's going to be slashed. I reckon 7 million, 10 million we can get him for. He's tall, he's quick, and he is very strong. So why not? Yeah, take a punt on him. If it doesn't work out, I'm sure we can get more money that we gave Norwich for him. Move on to Southampton. Another player we have been linked with for a while, James Ward-Prowse. Everyone's saying, if he was to go to Man United, it's a backward signing for Man United. I don't think it is. Sign for West Ham, it's a hell of a move for us. And I think it would work out for him. Set pieces, especially. You've seen how West Ham are with set pieces, corners, free kicks. That him coming in is the perfect signing for us. Because we do get a lot of corners and we are dangerous. We are very dangerous from corners. So bringing him in who can pass, I don't know. There's something about James Ward-Prowse. Well, I want to bring him in because I honestly think he's sublime. He's a great footballer. He again doesn't get the recognition. And the second player here, this is going to raise some eyebrows. Is that Jan Valery? They're a fullback or just fullback, wing back, whatever. The young French fullback, only 20 years old. He did break into the first team, and there was a lot of talk about him, but it's kind of died down now since they got Livramento and Kyle Peter Walkers or whatever, Walker Peters. But I'd take him. I'd snap him up. I think we could get him at quite a relatively cheap price. I do like the way he plays. I am quite surprised that he wasn't starting more games before Livramento come in. But I'd take him. I think he is a very good youngster. Move on to Tottenham. This is a difficult one because everyone was going on about West Ham squad depth. Tottenham squad depth wasn't that good either. So if we're looking at the squad and thinking, there's not really players I can pick from realistic, but there is one. Hear me out with this one. When we've always got players from Tottenham, they're Tottenham's fringe players. They've always done well at us. Matthew Everton, Ryan Friedrichs, Sergei Rebrov, like they've done well at us. And this is where I'm going with this one, is Cameron Carter-Vickers, centre-half, who currently on loan at Celtic. I feel that we could get the best out of him. I can't see him with a future at Tottenham, but I honestly feel we could get the best out of him if he comes to us. I'm not sure. It's down to Tottenham. You know what Tottenham are like when it comes to selling players to West Ham. But I think Cameron Carter-Vickers would be ideal. And then there is another one. This is a hit in the dark, really. This is Davinson Sanchez. I don't think he's going to be there next season, especially with the players that they got. Romero, obviously Derek Dyer. I got a funny feeling that he could be one of them players leaving, and I think, you know what, why not take a shot in the dark and offer a bid for him? If they reject it, they reject it. But I think he's the only one out of the Tottenham players who I think would potentially come to us. Move on to Watford. Two strikers there. Two strikers, two wingers. Like I said, they're going to be at a cut price now because they've just been relegated. But Emmanuel Dennis, we are currently linked with, and João Pedro. Two players who they should have never been at Watford in the first place. Like, how they managed to get these signings, I don't know. I can see these two players again with any team in the Premier League. And I'm hoping it's us. We are linked with both of them. Both young, both very good on the ball, both skillful. The only thing that kind of lets them down is obviously the finishing and that. But I honestly feel with the nurture, with Kevin Nolan, I know Piercy's just gone, Kevin Nolan, Nevin and Moisey, they'd fit straight in with us. And last but not least, Wolves. So Max Kilman, he's very underrated, but he's highly rated at Wolves. But very underrated in the big game of football. Bearing in mind he started at non-league. He's English / Ukrainian. But yeah, I like him. He's a proper English defender. Hard. He'll win anything. He will put his body on the line. And lately he hasn't been playing for Wolves, so why not go for someone like him? And the last one of the whole two-player pick is, I know he didn't get a goal last season, but then when you've got players like Raul Jimenez and players like that, I could have easily gone for Traore, but I just don't. We had a chance and we didn't do it. But Fabio Silva, he is still young. He is very tall, which is good for how we play our football set pieces. But yeah, Fabio Silva, I know he didn't score a goal last season, but there's something about him where I feel that he'd benefit more with us than he would with Wolves. But he's one of them. Like I said, he is still young. He's still learning the ropes of the English game. But I'd take a punt on him, even if it was just a loan move. But yeah, Fabio Silva, there's something about him. I've always liked him, but he did fit the Wolves system. He always plays well against us. When we used to play, he always played well against us. But he's the final pick out of all the two-player pick from each team. So I was really excited to do this one. I've been couldn't wait to do it. But yeah, you know the drill. Like and share, and come on, you Irons.